Hi guys, welcome to another video. I'm going to be reviewing Starfield. I've played over, got to be 200 hours of the game. I've completed it. Hopefully you've seen my video, my version of the ending of Starfield. And it took a long time to get going in this game. There's certain things that were locked right away that in other Bethesda games were available to the player from the outset. In Starfield, certain things, you had to do those things, but you had to level up to get it, unlock the perk. I think the boost pack, the targeting on the ships, certain things like that. That took a while, like outpost building in Fallout 4, you could do that right away. Yeah, so it was a slow start, but eventually the game got going, and I mean I've enjoyed it from the entirety, from the start to the end. But I know some people have issues with it being a bit of a slow start. The gameplay was good, it's typical Bethesda gameplay. They didn't really change that many things. I mean, I understand why they took out the VAT system, because that's more of a Fallout thing, because I didn't want to make Fallout in space. So yeah, the combat was alright. The level design was okay. But for me, as a person who likes to explore, that's my main priority in RPGs, is to explore rather than do the main story. The main story is always in the back of my mind, but I'm just want to explore the world, understand the world. So for me, when I would go to different planets and you go on your scanner and you look at different outposts and you go to those outposts and then, all right, this is pretty cool. But then when you go to a few others, you think this is just the same exact layout. So in my opinion, that was a bit repetitive. So I thought that was a bit lazy from Bethesda. And even in the main story, there's a period of time where it is very repetitive. You land on a planet, you search for stuff. Land on a planet, go to stuff, and find an artifact. And that was near the end of the story, which I thought, they thought there's a massive gap near the end of the game, so let's just do that. But I feel like they could have added more stuff, more main storylines, maybe some side plots in it that relate to the main story. But yeah, I'd say the side missions were good. I've done most of the factions. I've done Raging Industries. I've done the Freestar Collective. I haven't done all of them. Yeah, I've got the UC to do, and the Crimson Fleet, but I am going to be doing those. But yeah. So yeah, the factions, what I've played, are pretty decent. The side missions, I think they've got more variety than any other Bethesda game. Like, there was a mission where you had to help colonies that have been frozen, that have just awakened, find their new home, which I thought was a decent mission. But then there's other ones where you got to find the secret tea recipe that had been stolen, or something random like that. But yeah, I found it pretty good. The Disciples, I'm not sure if that was a faction or not, but that was a good mission. You get a good armor set with that. Yeah, gameplay was good. The space battles, they weren't the best. I mean, they weren't Star Wars Battlefront, the original one, sort of gameplay, but it was, for their first crack at it, it was okay. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. The shipbuilder was alright. I think they even yeah, another good thing was the Companions. The companions in this game were pretty good. I think I did a romance with Andrea. Is that her name? Yeah, Andrea. And she wasn't. Well, I think my best companion was the android. What is he called? What's he called? What's he called? What's he called? What's he called? But yeah. Oh, and the scientist Barrett. He was quite funny as well. The main story, it was pretty predictable. It wasn't really original in the way that, because I watch a lot of movies and I review them as well, and you knew where the story was going right from the outset. I mean, it doesn't try and trick you. The story's pretty original and not original, pretty easy to understand, and you know from the outset what you have to do. But yeah, the nuance of it, well, there's no nuance to it. The ending, I absolutely hated. Absolutely hated. Because I'm going to go spoiler alert here. So, when you get all the artifacts, you basically achieve New Game Plus. So that's what you're working towards in the entire game. Yeah. It's New Game Plus. Yeah. That's what you're working for, basically. It's New Game Plus. Yeah. So it's I was pretty disappointed, as you saw in my video if you watched it. I decided to not go into the Unity because I felt that I still had quite a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, so I was really pissed off about that. Really pissed off about that because I felt, it was just pretty lazy. I mean, and plus there's not a lot of variety of different paths or different endings. You know what I mean? Which that was another bit that I was disappointed about. Because in Fallout 4, there was 3 endings. The one with the Brotherhood, the one with the synths, and the railroad, I think. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think so. Yeah, and there was... I think they took inspiration from a few games, Outer Space. So overall, I'd have to give this game, Starfield, I'd say 8 out. I'd have to give it a 7.8 due to there is quite a lot of repetitiveness, and even in the main story, which I think that is unacceptable. You can't have the main attraction to the game and the main story to have an aspect of repetitiveness. You shouldn't have that in your main story. That's not good at all. I think the side mission and the factions, to be honest, were a bit better, to be honest, than the main story. Because I think with that there was more variety. I mean, after you've done the factions, the missions, after you've completed that faction, they are repetitive. They're basically just missions from a mission board. So yeah, but so it's just, I do think they were a bit lazy in some aspects. Don't get me wrong, I think Todd Howard is one of the best game directors out there today. But another thing that I didn't like about it was you couldn't fly to, within the orbit of the planet or on the planet's surface. There was no maps for the planets. I know they were all procedurally generated, so they were different all the time, but there was no map, which I don't understand at all. I didn't experience any bugs at all. I know loads of people said there was a few frame rate issues, character cutscenes, the camera was different way, wrong way. Yeah, but I never ran into any issues. Played it on Xbox. I thought it was a decent game. Not as good as Fallout 4. I think I said better than Fallout New Vegas. I apologise. Do not kill me. New Vegas is better. Than Starfield. Fallout 3 is better than Starfield. I've started playing Skyrim about 5 years ago and stopped it for some reason. I will get back to that. Yeah. So it was an ambitious game, very massive. I probably haven't explored like 30% of it. Yeah. Oh, and also, maybe it's just the way I play RPGs because I'm exploring that, but they give you a lot of fucking ammo and food. Like, I know it's a big game, you got to fill it with loads of shit, but even like in the last mission, I think you saw my reaction where there was this bit where you go down the lift, and when you get down on the lift, there's like this little place where it's just full of ammo and weapons. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, cheers, but one of my weapons has 8,000 bloody magazines. Not magazines, sorry. Bullets. I mean, it was a laser weapon, so lasers. Yeah. So, yeah. Even that was without any perks. I didn't have any perks that said, "Oh, you have an increased chance of picking up, ammo." Also the power thing. Once you done a temple, I rarely used them. Some of them didn't, from my understanding, didn't even do anything. Yeah, and also there was that neuroclamp thing. If you do the Ryujin fraction mission, where you can manipulate people. Yeah, that mechanic worked for a while, and then it just kind of didn't. Yeah. I mean, the dialogue, the script of each character I ran into was solid. Some bits that surprised me, I was always invested in the game. Inventory capacity was basically half of the game. I do recommend, when you have a time when you're playing the game, get some cargo. What do they call it? Invest in your cargo. Make that larger. Because I had a ship that had over 8,500 availability for inventory. And I filled that in one session, like a 2-hour session. Because I was just exploring the entire time. Because in RPGs, what I do is I pick up everything, like weapons that I already have, and then just sell them on. That's what I do. So I would always fill that up after every time I came back from my ship. Yeah, I think I did have 1 million credits at one point. Once the game got on, once you level up, once you get the perks you want, the game is very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. The weapons were great. Side missions amazing. Fractions really good. The 2 that I've played. 2 I've played. I think the planet I spent most of my time on was Neon. But yeah, it was a good game. I would recommend playing it. It's on Game Pass. It's not on PlayStation. Yeah, it's on Xbox and PC. If you guys have played it, let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in my next video. As I said, I gave this a 7.8.